Hi, and welcome to the Fierce Voice Podcast. I'm your host, Brigette Gildemaster. This is a podcast for those who are ready to leave behind survival mode after abuse, where we talk about what it looks like to embody who you are as an individual, learn to love yourself, and bring to light healing after surviving abuse from relationships and religion. Pop your earbuds in to hear heartfelt and powerful intensity from myself and guests. Be ready to put into place actual tools and gather insight for you to use on your healing journey. Hello and welcome back to the Fierce Voice Podcast. I'm your host, Brigette, and today I am so excited. I have a guest with me today. Atousa is with us, and she's going to share her story and her journey and what she's most passionate about. So I'll let you take it away.
Hi, thank you for having me on your show. Well, that's a big question. It's got like all different layers in there. So, a little bit about me. I work as a shaman, a healer, spiritual guide, speaker. I'm also a best-selling author or award-winning author, poet, and digital artist as well. And how that all came about is that I actually, somewhere when I was young, I asked for it. I wanted to be a healer, and life gave me my own share of experiences to build my tools to do what I do today. So that's the short version of it. And what I'm most passionate about is the work I do with my clients and what the book is about, which is I want people to know life is simpler than they think, it's easier, and that they just got to tune into their inner knowing, that unconditional love inside them. And once they start feeling that for themselves, it naturally comes out. And, the way we do it, as I've outlined in the book, the first step is awareness, to be aware of ourselves, aware of our triggers, aware of these identities and personas that we've created over the years that are running our life and running the show without us really paying attention or noticing it. And once we put the spotlight on it, it becomes easier to start to see where things are coming from and heal them, release them, let them go, and choose differently until you get to a point that's just natural. There's no identity, there's no persona. It's just you out in the world and just enjoying it. So that's what I work with my clients mainly, to release their past traumas and those identities and behaviors and patterns and triggers that has built over the years because of those traumas.
Yeah, such needed work. Wow. Yeah, I can identify I can relate to so much of what you're saying. And just I can and agree with just the process that you use and everything. Like that's just absolutely beautiful. So needed in the world. So do you mind sharing some of the experiences you've had to lead you to where you are?
My own experiences, yeah. I mean, I put it out there in all the podcasts and book and everything, because the main thing is people like, I know what you're going through and I've been there, and if I can do it, you can do it. There's no difference. And so yeah, just again, going real fast through all the experiences. Parents divorced it too, really big divorce, very contentious through my adulthood. It just was it wasn't happening. And then I was born in Iran, so was going through the revolution, the war, coming to US, not speaking the language. And then just from there, sort of life takes over. And then when life also said, okay, now you're ready to do this work, I had my sort of final thesis, maybe, which was my lost all the money, went through a very bad, again, another contentious divorce. and single mom and no job. And that was when life said, no, you're ready, let's go.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I can relate to a lot of that, obviously. So, the listeners here, my audience, I speak to divorce and stuff. And so, yeah, it sounds like you have a lot of wisdom to share and relate to that with that.
Yeah, there were basically ways for us, for me, I mean, it's for everybody. Those things is not to sort of make it your story, but rather it's given you tools and techniques for you to see the truth and just, shift and release and let go and move to a place that to realize you are just, a divine being in this physical form, experiencing life, and don't let the stories run the show.
Yes, yes, right there. Yeah. So yeah, I loved what you said earlier about all these identities that we have and try to, I feel like, label ourselves with, like, who we are, instead of just allowing ourselves to be, I'm Brigette, you're you, my neighbor is my neighbor, and who that person is. um can you speak on that a little bit more, on how you healed and moved into that, and what that looks like for you?
Yeah, well, it's just awareness. And, I think it might be easier if I share like how I do with the clients, is because, again, the behaviors and those triggers are showing you the different identities. All of them are fear-based. You created all these people out of fear, to feel safe in the world, to feel safe in your work, your job, your relationships with your friends, all that stuff. And when, I work with the clients, and, I did it for myself and now I'm doing it with the clients, same thing, is that sort of imagine these little kids, and this is not like inner child that, everybody's like, well, I talk to my inner child. It's not like that. So that sort of emotional character that experienced something is still in your system, has memory, has sort of its own life in there, which you are not connected to or aware of. Once you become aware of it and see the stories, and it's not resisted, rejected, make peace with it, or it's really actually understanding it. And then you'll see all those things that you're carrying, again, fear-based, forgiveness, self-forgiveness, mainly, not even outside forgiveness, but outside forgiveness, and not loving yourself, not, being confident in your own knowing, trusting your knowing, or trusting life. So all these different characters were built based on those things. And once you become aware, sort of like the jig is up, now you see it. It can't go back in the box. It can't hide from you, because wherever it goes, like, oh, there you are. I see you. And then from there, then you gotta do the work, forgive, love, gratitude, all those things then are things that you can choose and bring into your life, and naturally it goes away.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. So powerful. I love that. I love that work. Mm, yeah. So how, I'm curious. So how did you come about being a shaman, and what does that look like for you, and how have you used that?
Shamanism, I talk about in the book as well, how I became a shaman. And I think nowadays that's like become a very normal term. And there are different ways that people, I guess, under that shamanism, there are different layers, I believe. But for me, again, part of the sort of, I call it the universal training, I already like, call it downloads, whatever, me talking to me, God talking to me, universe talking to me, however you want to go about it. Went through these series of, okay, that process of healing, releasing, letting go, that creation of the tools that I was gathering. And then in like within a span of 2 weeks, I got so many different things that, shamanism kept popping. I'm like, okay, let me go see what this is about. And I found a person, he's my mentor, and I work with him, and every time it's like, well, I already do that, and I already do that, so I already do that. And it was more of me realizing, again, that trust in my own knowing, building on that trust that I know these things, I work with these things. And yes, it just helped go a little bit deeper into those tools that I already knew about and was using. And also, sort of like by me allowing that trust to come in, I sort of expanded more for myself, more healing and expansion. And the way I use it for my clients, a lot of the shamanism work, I mean, as a shaman, I guess you don't even have to be a shaman. We'll put a shaman label on there, that you work with a lot of spirits, and especially elements, water, fire, wind, and directions, things like that. And part of the work I do that falls under that layer of expertise, I guess you can call it, is like cord cutting, generational cleansing, um, soul retrievals, and things like that.
Yeah, yeah, that's I've heard of the cord cutting and doing that, and had friends who have participated in that, and it's a very strong, very powerful thing to go through that process. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's awesome. What kind of did you have like a one of the biggest results of a client's like from a story like that? What is something you could share with that?
My God, I have a lot of those actually. My clients have been so generous and loving that, they leave me like paragraphs of, it's not just like a couple of words. There's like my testimonials are just like 2, 3 paragraphs sometimes. And some of them actually, I don't know now, 5 of them, I asked, do you want to write a little of your, our relationship? And they put, they gave it to me, so I added at the end of the book as well. But it's all the same. I don't know to say, because success, some of them go beyond their goals, that they come to me, and like I say, it's a continuous thing. Sometimes it's not set, but they go and they're like, hey, I got into this place, I don't know where to go, I feel like stuck, and they come to me and we'll do some work, and they're gone until they need some assistance again, they come back. And but yeah, the success basically is that they tell me that they shift, they change, their relationships are different, their relationship to themselves, they're more loving to themselves, they feel the love, their stressors don't drag them anymore, and they're more aware, and they're happy in life, and they're letting their fears go. And the ones that, like I said, they want to keep expanding.
Yeah. Yeah, what do you with working with like generational trauma, and how do you what do you have to say about that, with it being handed down and affecting the person and all of that?
Yeah, I would say, I mean, I like to tell people, don't get bogged down with those things. As long as, again, there's awareness that, hey, this is where, like, for example, my whole uh, paternal generation has high blood pressure and has heart disease, and that's been transferred to me as well, let's say. Now, also, that what is saying, those things themselves, those illnesses, they have an emotional trigger to them. Something happened emotionally over time that caused that. And now, if it's been passed down, that means the first person that had some kind of trigger, some kind of trauma, they added it, and then it got passed down, and the next person felt it. So nobody cleared this out, and now it's come to your doorstep. So it's up to you. Cleared in you, it clears for the rest of the people as well. So that's why I say don't get bogged down, meaning like when you do the work yourself, it does translate into generations past, generations forward. What I do is like more of, let's say, when you're not noticing what's there, I sort of clear that out for you. So it's a little bit easier for you. Like, if you get this big old chain that's going back, I unloop and take some of that heaviness off. So it's like, okay, now it's easier for you to carry. Can you handle this one now?
Yeah, that's awesome. I love that. I love hearing about all that. It's so cool. So, what is the name of your book?
It's called Change Yourself, Change the World. And the sort of the subtitle, subheading of that is Transform Your Life. Choose to see love and magic in the world.
Love it. Awesome. Yeah. And is that on Amazon?
It's on Amazon. Yeah, here. I don't know if they
awesome.
get the video, but yeah,
yes,
it looks
do.
like this.
Awesome.
But
perfect. Yeah. So if anyone wanted to get a hold of you or get in touch with you to do this work with you, how would they go about that?
my website is the best. It's AtousaRaissyan.com, and that has all my social media on there, my YouTube channel, everything, email, form, service description, everything you want to know is in there.
Awesome. Fabulous. Yeah. And I think you sent that all to me too. So I'll include that in the show notes for our listeners today. And yeah, fabulous. Well,
Great.
I love hearing about all this. I love this kind of work. I worked not consistently, but with people off and on with it. And I think it is so powerful. And yeah, like you said, it just lightens that chain, lightens that load for us to continue on to keep healing. So,
yeah.
very vital. So, well, thank you for joining me today. I really appreciate your time and giving that to us and the sacrifice you made to do that. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much. Thank you. It was wonderful to be here.
Thank you for joining us today on the Fierce Voice podcast. I truly hope you found healing insight, tools, and a space held for you in this journey. We are all in this together and you are not alone. You can find me, your host, Brigette Gildemaster, on all social media platforms and check out my website at www.brigittegildemaster.com, where you can listen to past Fierce Voice episodes, check out my media features, find my books, and inquire about booking me for your next virtual or in-person event. My keynotes are impactful with real-life stories, actionable tools, and inspiration for healing after a life-altering experience. Or check out my workshop event to learn more about how you can prevent abuse in your area. Have a wonderful day, and we'll catch you next time on the Fierce Voice Podcast.